Hey guys, welcome to another session of FFBE Global. So we have Item World now. This is day 2 of Item World. So it's this little event icon here on the top that I'm highlighting. It says Equipment Enhancements. Now this has been out on JP for quite a while. So for those of you who play JP, obviously this video will be no benefit to you whatsoever. But for those of you who, maybe have minorly kind of watched some of my JP videos, watched some of the other people's JP videos, maybe you've seen Item World before. What we call Item World in JP is apparently called Steel Castle Melfiya, right? I'm gonna still call it Item World just because it's really easy to refer to. And so basically you can choose any weapon and enhance them, and there's tons of abilities you can enhance them with, and they're all RNG based, so it makes it really fun. I think I mentioned this in one of the news videos that because it's random, most likely you'll never find the same friend unit with identical gears because they might have different enhancements on their weapons. This kind of changes what you can call best in slot stats. You can potentially get best in slot stats, but you'll always look different from everyone else. One of the things to note before we even start here, I am already on, I think, stage 3. So I'm gonna lap it all the way to the beginning so you guys don't miss any information. I'm gonna try to keep this as concise as possible. Most likely you're gonna get an enhancement or Item World event every time there's a King Mog event. That's how it usually works on JP, at least. That way the orbs are not overlapping, and you get to spend energy and orbs at the same time. I think that's how FFBE wants us to play. We get rewards also accomplishing it. So even if you don't, if you're not strong enough to complete all of the floors, just keep grinding it, and you get some really a lot of goodies. You get equipment enhancement orb restore ×5, and over time you're gonna get a stockpile of those. So I know because this is the first event, everybody's just oh man, using it all, and maybe you guys are even doing a lapis refill. But again, each orb, you get 10 orbs, that's capped. Each orb comes back at an hour, just like any other orb, arena and raid orb. You use the orbs to go up a floor. As you get up to a floor, you get a higher chance of a rarer enhancement. And yes, you get about, I think, 20% in Moogles total. So a 10% Moogle and 1% Moogles. And then of course there are just instructions here. You can take a look. And they come in waves and batches. So in the first batch here, we can only upgrade 4 weapons: daggers, rods, guns, and katanas. And so I'm doing Mateus Malice right now. This is my 3rd Mateus Malice, and this is what I'm at so far. So 5% HP and 3% magic. We're gonna run it a bit, and I'm gonna do some explanation. Before we even go in though, make sure your party is set up, and I'm gonna give you some tips on the party as well. Basically, you want to bring someone that is full status ailment full status ailment immune, but that can also cure status ailments. So someone I don't know, Fina, Ayaka, or anybody with a ribbon, and maybe even Riku's pouch to cure all status ailments. You wanna have a magic damage dealer if possible, 2 DPS units, non-elemental. Don't lock yourself to an element. There are enemy encounters where there'll be resistance to holy, to water, earth, wind, almost all of it, all throughout the gamut. I think maybe ice you'll be okay with, but it's safer just to go non-elemental. I'm just gonna bring this team here, mostly because I'm also leveling up their TMRs. So another good thing is if your team is strong enough and you don't have a TMR on a 5-star base unit that you're also planning to use for this event, it's the best time to think about which of these units you want a couple percentages boosted in your TMR, and this is the team I'm gonna go with. All of them except one of the Sephiroth has maxed trust. The rest don't. So I'm gonna go with this team. And of course you can select your friends, so they can be helpful. I would definitely recommend choosing a weaker friend at the very beginning of the stages here, or someone that doesn't do damage deal, doesn't damage deal. We're just gonna lap 10, and then yes, try to keep this as concise as possible. And so let's actually get into, so these guys should be one-shottable, so let's just do that. So because we're only on floor 3, so they're quite easy. By floor 8, 7, 8, 9, and 10, I believe, you get a random kind of encounter, even though floor 10 will most likely always be a demon, the greater demon, but he might be in different colors. So there's like a blue one, there's a gold one, there's a red one, and each of them have different abilities, so just be careful. That's why I said bring a tank, bring a healer, and status ailment protection, and able to cure status ailments. We're gonna go another one here. It doesn't really matter. Let's go with JC's Weaken Rain. This is still easy floor. So some of the upgrades, as you saw, after the battle, you get to choose one enhancement to that weapon. You're only maxed. You can only choose up to 3. So it's a pretty simple mechanic. You look at what you want in that gear, so you aim for a goal first. So for like rods, you want to aim for high magic, and maybe if you get really lucky, you can aim for high magic and high HP or MP. It's up to you, and again, it's your own kind of choice. As you can see, I'm not getting that good stuff here. I'm getting magic 5. So what I can do is dismiss new abilities, so just don't choose them, or I can switch to a new ability that I have, just replace it. So I'm going to do that for MP plus 5%. So for Mateus Malice, I'm trying to get at least 30 magic. At least 30 magic total. Each weapon also has a different type of special, I would call it a special enhancement. Ooh, Ryuki, you're here. So Doppels is here. Let's use Doppels here. Each one has a special rare enhancement that has a specific ability or attribute to that rare enhancement. So for example, for daggers, so people are leveling up their Bowie knives. For daggers, the best case scenario is to get High Tide. So High Tide increases LB fill rate, and units like CG Nicole, who are not using shields, or even CG Lid, will benefit from that because they strive on their LBs. And because we have a Katana right now, we have a Katana level 3 enhancement, and that is 15% HP, 15% MP. Let's go Heaven's Wept here. Doesn't really matter, but let's do that. And because we also have rods for this round, rods is 15% HP and 15% MP and 15% magic. And guns is a good one. It's just straight attack plus 30%. So potentially you can get really high stats with that. Also, you can never get a repeat of the same enhancement, so you can't get like attack plus 10% and attack plus 10%. It will always be a bit different. So okay, so none of these abilities I want, so I'm gonna go dismiss new abilities. When we run into specific enhancements, I can do some more explanations for those. But by floor 10, you get up to a 2.23% chance to get a rare. It's still very low. That's just like getting a rainbow. So when you do run into a rare, consider yourself lucky, because it's not an easy thing to get. Again, like I said, it is all RNG based. So let's say you get a rare. Let's say for Katana, you're going for high attack. Katana rare at a 2.23% on floor 10. Let's say you get that. You get a 15% attack and a 15% HP. And where RNG can really screw you up is that in the other floors, you may not even see an attack buff, attack enhancement. So then you're just stuck at a 15% attack, even though you got a rare. And in those cases, I would just recommend just redoing it. Even though you're just like, oh man, it's a rare. But you will get used to it, trust me. I've been playing grinding on JP for so long that you know, even getting a rare is not like super exciting anymore, but obviously I do feel excited if I get it. So let's go. We're on floor 7, so we'll get harder from here. I think floor 7 is still really easy, But again, if you're a new player, do not worry if you can't beat it. You can lapis refill to keep yourself alive to keep going. But if you know you're at your your max capability, like let's say you're at a point where you can only get to floor 8, you can't do floor 9, you're gonna die. The good thing is you get to keep your enhancements, but you'll leave with the chance of maybe not getting better enhancements. That's it. So there's really no drawback. I would definitely recommend. Doppel says you still derp though. What are you talking about? No, now you made me lose my train of thought, man. Tisk Doppels. All right, so we can get HP 7% here because it beats HP 5%. And again, we are going for high magic. So how I'm doing is this, like if we get high magic as a priority, I'm gonna kick that HP one out and replace with high magic. But if we're not, then we won't do that. Hey PMA man, I'm using your Dragon Lord if you're watching this later. 1.2, so 1.2k magic is pretty good on a Dragon Lord, and I think it's because he has enhanced it. Maybe we could take a look. I think he got a rare enhancement on his Mateus Malice. Oh, okay, he has Mateus Malice. Yep, Seal of Skill and Magic level 3, and that's what I was talking about. And Wizard Rod, pretty good, man. 25%. Yeah, so he's pretty much gotten like the best gear there. So running a little bit low on MP, so I'm actually gonna fill up my MP with Siege and Nicole here. So again, yes, having a MP battery could be beneficial as well. As you can see, I'm running a bit low as I'm chaining. Doppel says when you get a rare, just like a rainbow. No, actually I don't. So okay, so yeah, so if you guys are watching my videos, you guys know that if I get a rainbow, I'm like, oh guys, it's a rainbow, right? But if I get a rare, I don't do that. But maybe it's because I never got a rare on stream. Maybe if I got one on stream, I would still derp. So she calls that derp. Alright, so perfect. We got a defense auto boost level 2. So let me do some explanation as well. So you can also obtain these abilities. These abilities are castable abilities casted on the first turn. So as soon as you enter into a battle, you'll cast it on yourself. Now, it's not super good if you're doing it for an item that you want to beat trials with. Okay, so basically you can get auto regen level 1 to 4, which is a 1.8k base heal with a plus ×1 mod, so up to ×4 mod if you get a level 4, which is highly rare. I just gotta say that's highly rare. You can also get auto refresh, which there's only 2 levels, level 1 and 2. So if you get a level 2, that's the rarest you can get. That's a 5% auto refresh. That could be useful, I suppose, but again, remember, this is casting it on yourself. It's a skill, right? So you're casting it on yourself. That means if you buff yourself with a better regen, with a better refresh, it can't stack. So keep that in mind, which I just highly recommend don't even use it. Don't even get these ones unless you're trying to create a AI arena team to troll people with, because usually the AI team won't buff themselves. So if you have like just specific gear set for arena funsies, you can do this. I would recommend you doing it for the auto regen, especially because, oh man, it takes a long time to kill them. If you get a max level auto regen, you get also auto protect and auto shell. So auto shell, auto protect, obviously for defense and spirit buff. You get up to 50%. Level 1 to 5, 10% each level. So level 1 is 10%, level 5 is a 50%, and you do the math in between, of course. And of course, you can also get obtainable abilities like I'm seeing here, defense 7%, MP 3%. All the parameters, HP, MP, attack, defense, magic, and spirit, you can get a +1, +3, +5, 7, 10, 12, and 15. And like I said before, you cannot repeat them. So if you get like a 15% attack, you're not going to get another one. So don't hope for it. Just wait for maybe a 12%. So the next best one would be a 12%. So like, let's say the best scenario for your katana, let's say, absolute best scenario would be to get a rare. So get a katana rare, which is a 15% HP and attack, and then you get another 15% attack and a 12% attack. That would be like the best case scenario. But if you know how you're gonna build your units, I would recommend you think about not over capping a 30% enhancement. So let's say if you're like stuck at like 37%, it's not gonna really do much. So try to, I personally like to try to keep it at something divisible by 5 or 10, most likely 10. That way it's just easier to cap your units without anything overflowing. But again, obviously choose the highest one anyway, in case your units can't reach cap by themselves. And you'll still get the benefit of those overflowed stats. Alright, so we're gonna chain. So I'm bringing Ram for Dagger Boomerang because Dagger Boomerang does a lot of damage to those who have very high defense. Generally the enemies here have only really high defense or really high spirit, so you kind of have to find them. That dragon, that Hydra, is really annoying because he is resistant to holy, to water, to I think earth, and I think wind. The only one he's not resistant to is I think is fire that I've tested. I've never tested ice because on JP there's not much ice units you want to use. Ooh, mag plus 7. So let's switch this ability around. So as you can see, I could switch this HP 7 out for mag plus 7. That would give me a 15%, which again, like I said, divisible by 5 and 10. That's usually the best ones you want to go with. And I'm gonna finish this off just to showcase and finish off this video here. So I am going to feed myself one of those bottles that I got. So this is how you get it. As you can see, I only got 20. Like I said, if you don't use them every single event, over time you're gonna hoard a lot. You're gonna have a lot. I have so much in JP that I don't even know how to use them, right? And at this point, because this is new, you have tons of weapons. You're just like, oh man, I only got a week to do this, I gotta grind it. Again, like I said, every King Mog event, it should be coming back. So if it's coming back on every King Mog event, most likely you'll eventually run out of weapons. So let me put it this way, you'll eventually run more out of weapons than you have the events. So you'll basically have way too many events, to put it shortly there. So don't worry if you can't get your ultimate enhancements right now. All right, it will come back, guys. It will come back. So definitely don't worry. So this demon should be a one-shot if I do this, but again, the demon here is really annoying. He can cause status ailments. He can also make your units berserk. He has magic damage and AoE physical damage, and the damage itself is not the worst part. It's mostly the status ailments. But so again, keep your status ailment healers with some kind of way to cure status ailments. Alright, so I was kind of off, so we almost didn't get it there. And Rain is good. Magic tank is more useful, I would say, than a physical tank on this. And Rain will be able to hold his own. As you can see, he died, so it can be difficult depending. And again, I would definitely recommend doing a one-shot kill for these guys. Oh, Minmi says that that Hydra, that dragon with the multiple heads, also has ice and lightning resist too. Okay, so he's pretty much Chimera, but like the opposite. Like he has like every other element pretty much, which is annoying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this should be able to kill him. Yeah, wait, let's just do that. Okay, so Ira 1 gave some good information. Blue is magic, weak to magic, and yellow is weak to physical. All right, so that's what it says. So basically, you will run into. I think there are 3 demons, if I'm not wrong, but maybe there are only 2. Maybe I've always seen this one as a red one, and then all of a sudden he swaps over to a dark one, a purple or blue. Okay, so we got a 15% MP, so that's a really rare one. Okay, that's a really high, good one. But the thing is, I don't want MP. I want more magic at the moment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dismiss the ability. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes you can see something really tempting, but if it's not the one you want, it's not gonna be pointless. Because so basically, this Mateus Malice right now is left at a point where I don't think this is good enough, so I will rerun it anyway. So there's no point giving it that max MP. Swire1 also says, or you make hybrid party or use hybrid units. Yes, you could possibly do that. The only problem with hybrid units I wouldn't recommend is because they're usually locked to an element. So unless you can have someone like Kanshira who can deal multiple elements, you're gonna run into times where you can't actually deal the elements. So what Mimi said about that dragon, if he's resistant to ice, your Fravia would be useless there. So I would definitely not recommend hybrid units. I would definitely go with a team of magic damage dealing and physical damage dealing units. So I'm gonna, let's see, I don't even know what I should use. One of the other things is when you're choosing your weapon though, it will remove this weapon from every single instance of the unit using that weapon. So let me explain. So we know that we have arena party, we know that we have a regular party, and there's also our man-at-arms, like 10-man trials party, and now there's this enhancement party. So this could get really complicated, and sometimes you guys might think like, hey, what's going on? Like, why am I going into why am I going into arena without an enhancement or something? It's because they share the same equipment. So let's say if I had, I'm gonna do Masamune for this run. If I had Masamune on, let's say on someone in arena, someone in my regular party, someone in the 10-man trials, and someone here, if I choose enhance, it will actually pop a warning for me if I'm actually using it. It will say like, oh, it's being used by like the party or whatever, are you sure you want to use it? And if you say yes, it will remove this weapon from them. Okay, it will remove it from them, and then you just have to make sure you resupply your weapon here. So look, like for example, like Kyle here, his cloud, I'm assuming he has 600 attack because it's gone to, oh, what the heck, he's just not even geared. Okay, so during these events, don't blame your friend units if you all of a sudden see like a unit that's ungeared with a weapon. It's because most likely they forgot to equip another weapon in replacement of the one they're enhancing. All right, so but Kyle, man, you let me down. Your cloud looks really bad, man. Another thing is, when this event starts, it will make a duplicate party of all your 5 regular parties. Okay, all your regular parties. But then once the event actually starts and you change the party within this event, then your parties are different. Okay, it could get really confusing, but these are just things to note, and your espers will be the same as well. So just make sure when you're gearing them up, or what you can do is right before the event happens, what you could do is equip a party just for this event, and then that way you don't have to re-gear them, because you will basically have to re-gear them. They take the exact duplicate of the units you had in the party before the event started. So that might be the one way to mitigate that annoyance. So let's do 3 rounds. So just make up the 10 floors that we did here. And again, for the best case scenario is don't allow the orbs to cap, so you get the most orbs per hour efficiency. Okay, that's the best way to do this. All right, so let's just attack. Swire 1 says wind attack can use on any monster. You should give up at floor 7 when not good enhanced. Alright, he's good at giving good tips, so you should give up on floor 7 when you don't have good enhancements. And the reason is because you're not likely to get 3 good enhancements at the very end. I think that's the point of it. I would almost recommend, I almost push that one actually, myself, Swire 1. I would almost push that to floor 8. Because you can still get substantial upgrades if you get lucky with, like, let's say a rare and a 15% attack, let's say. So that would make 30%, and that's, to me, is beefy enough. So I would recommend anything past floor 8, if you don't have a good enhancement, maybe consider giving it up. But again, each one of these rounds will give you unit experience, rank experience, skill, and obviously the higher you are, they'll give you higher rank experience. So if you're going for the rank experience, I would just run it all anyway. Otherwise, you're wasting orbs on very menial rank experience on the low levels. As you can see, with the first couple of floors here, you really don't need to spend any MP at all. And if you didn't need to, Swire 1 did say this here as well, but if you didn't need to, you could use your friend unit's MP since you can't keep using that friend. Okay, so we're getting pretty bad enhancements for the katana right now. Again, we're aiming for high attack. I know there are a lot of people who go with split statistics on their enhancements. I would highly recommend you don't do that unless it's for a support unit. So even let's say a common one like Bowie knife, right? Like we said, for CG Nicole, CG Lid, or other support units that need a lot of LB. A lot of people have been splitting it. They're getting the rare High Tide, they're getting some HP, and then maybe some Spirit in it. I would almost say, if you can, like let's say your run is pretty good, like you get like really high HP ones like over and over, stack one attribute per item and then make multiples of those items. So obviously you have to have the luxury to do that. So if you don't, obviously you can stick with the split method. But let's say for me, like where I am at, I think I have four Bowie knives. And so for 4 Bowie knives, let's run a couple more actually. For 4 Bowie knives, I almost think that you can build one for each. Like obviously you want to get a rare for each, and then maybe a one for pure HP, one for pure MP. That way, let's say Lid uses it, then she gets the most benefit from that. If CG Nicole uses, maybe gets the most benefit from MP, and build one for each parameter basically. I think that's all the information that I have here. Obviously, again, it can take multiple runs, and you could be really lucky as well. I remember leveling up my CG Axstar as CMR to get a 30% attack. As you can see, I'm still not getting attack, so you could get totally screwed all the way. That's what I was saying. If you get like a rare in floor 1, yes, you should be happy about it, but don't celebrate until you finish it, because you could get like no more attributes, none of the attributes you want for the rest of it. Anyways, I'm going to dismiss the abilities because it really makes no difference. Whatever, I'll just get this MP one, may as well. Just keep climbing. Oh yeah, and then obviously the other thing was that Mateus Malice was completely new. So if you have enhanced your item before, you can run it again, and don't worry, you don't lose them. You get brand new enhancements, and at the very end of it, it asks you to choose which one you want to keep. So it's really good. It's really good. Do not worry about it overlapping, overwriting, and losing enhancements. Even if you, let's say you couldn't complete it, let's say on this run you can't complete it, and you don't want to do lapis refill, you can still choose which one you want to keep, either your old one or you can choose the new one. So I'm gonna do Dagger Boom right here, because this guy is very, very high defense but low spirit. And I think that is it for this. This has been a very, very long explanational video, but I know a lot of this information, you can find it on Reddit, you can find it on wikis and forums, etc. But I know a lot of you guys who watch are also very visual, alright? That's what I've heard, at least. Very visual learners. So hopefully that this has helped you to learn and help you to understand the context of, you know, what all these upgrades are about, etc, etc. So that's it for that. If you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. For those of you guys on stream, thank you for all these thanks for all these tips. So wait, before we end off, Doppel says it asks which set you want to keep, not individual traits. Yes. Okay, yeah, that's good to clarify if I wasn't clear about that. So if you've enhanced 3 abilities in that weapon, it will ask you to choose a kit, like the full set, not the individual ability. So you can't like go and refresh like this one ability that you don't like. You have to either do it all over again, keep the old one, or pick the brand new one, which is brand new 3 enhancements. Anyways, if you guys are watching on YouTube, thanks for watching again. Subscribe if you guys like the content, and that will help support me as well. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time.